Like and subscribe right now, or else this will be in your bed tonight. r/ask Reddit by Planet Reddit. What was the dumbest rumor spread about you? I moved from Scotland to England at like 13. I had a thick accent and I got a lot of shit for it, so almost subconsciously I slowly started to like fake an English accent. Was really stupid as I'd flip back to Scottish as soon as I got home. After I left school I dropped the accent, but by that time the majority of people I knew in the small town I was in had met me as English spliff wizard, so when I'd see people they'd be like, WTF happened to you? Why are you suddenly Scottish? I used to just make shit up like I had a voice transplant and this is all they had, but eventually it stopped. Roll on a few years and I'm back in town having a drink with some mates. I get talking to two guys and when I mention my name one is like, oh shit, you're that guy who pretends to be Scottish, and so now apparently there's a fable around the town of some English kid who one day was just like, duck this, I'm Scottish now. And the kid is me. Class. I had a voice transplant and this is all they had, ha ha ha. I'm scrolling through this while in a conference call. Proper laughed out loud and then panicked that I hadn't muted my mic. Luckily I had, or that could have been very awkward. You faked it so well that people were more ready to believe the lie than the truth. That I was dead. Was late getting back to uni, so my buddies decided it'd be funny to tell people I'd been killed in Europe. The story started with killed in an accident and blossomed to got a girl pregnant. Wouldn't marry her. Decided to marry her. Killed in an accident. One girl I knew actually believed it and cried when we bumped into each other. Had no idea she cared. Well, that ending proves that we sometimes take some people for granted. Yeah, now I miss my friends. You've got friends? Jealous. When I was in grade 1 some girls thought it would be funny to tell everyone I had boy private parts, which upset me greatly. I don't remember this, but my mother has told me that during an assembly I was talking with the people around me and it was brought up and I felt the need to stand up and pull down my pants and undies in front of everyone. I cringe every time I think about it. This anecdote needs its own subreddit. r/madlads. r/madless. That I'm dead. I'm not dead. Not me, but my ex. Hairstylist I hadn't been to before. Small talk. Find out she went to the same large high school as my fiance and graduated the same year. Did you know, narcissistic a-hole? Oh my god. Yes. Isn't it sad how he died? Before I could get a word and she goes into this story about how he moved to Las Vegas after high school, got heavy into drugs and killed himself. Well, I don't know where you heard that, but he's my fiance and he's very much alive. Unless. Dun. I made fun of Baptists at my friend's house, and his mom told the other moms that I worshipped the devil. This was in 10th grade or so. Haha, should just pretend to be possessed next time you see their mom. That childhood friend got out of prison recently. He had been locked away for many years for maiming a law enforcement agent. I don't plan on seeing any of them again in this life. Whoa, I didn't expect that. Good choice to stay TF away. That my parents were drug dealers, and they involved me in selling drugs at my elementary school. What actually happened was that I gave my friends $1 each from my lunch money so we could all buy cookies. Somehow the rumor spread all the way to the principal, so he dragged me to his office and lectured me about not giving my money away in front of other people. Yeah, teach kids not to be kind to friends. Setting a really great example. It's a sad reality that a kind gesture can be twisted in such a way. Could have been worse. The principal could have dragged you into his office to hook a brother up. That I was gay. I like girls, but you never see me with one because girls don't like me. Honestly, you don't see me with guys either. I love how if you don't get laid by 12 you're gay. Way back then the target age was 16. I remember being smeared with that one too. At the time, early 90s, I remember feeling like it was a horrible slander and questioning my very manhood. Of course, I was a stupid high school kid then and didn't know any better. I actually had crushes on a few girls by that time, but was completely socially awkward and hadn't dated anyone at all. Back then hasn't dated anyone was used as ammo for must be gay. The person would pull this in the boys' locker room before or after gym. His locker was near mine and he'd wait for me to start changing before making homosexual remarks towards me. Again, stupid high school thing where he was insinuating that gay equals bad and I just accepted that. This person was also part of a group that used to follow me from class to class, harassing me multiple times a day. I hated high school and was so happy when I went to college that I told my entire preschool class that Santa wasn't real. It was actually a different kid with the same first name as me, and I hadn't even been there when it happened. So I learned the truth about Claus from my enraged and screaming mother calling me a liar. I am now 32 and I still hate Christmas. This reminds me of when I took my sister to build a bear and the shop assistant mentioned something about Santa's gift coming early this year and my sister blurted out, "But Santa isn't real," with a stone cold serious face. Then Stone Cold Steve Austin appeared asking for a hell yeah. Wait, what? Your mother called you a liar? Did she not know Santa wasn't real? I'm confusion. One was that I laid eggs. Another was that I had 14 abortions in 6 months. Unfortunately, both around the same time period. Yikes. So were those abortions sunny side up or scrambled? The world's most tasty types of abortion. I really like that the idea that one could get pregnant 14 times in 6 months isn't something that most of your classmates found ridiculous. I'm going to make 2 guesses. 1. This was somewhere in American Midwest or South, based on the distinct lack of sex ed there. Or 2. You were in fact too young to get pregnant and for some reason elementary kids had heard the term abortion while you were out. So you became the butt of a rumor? It wasn't mine. But my friend is allergic to peanuts and someone started a rumor that he was lying. So, someone waved a peanut butter sandwich in front of him. That started an allergic reaction. We were in 5th grade. How did the idiot who tried to prove your friend a liar react? He was shocked. He dropped the piece of bread instantly and apologized to my friend afterwards when he came back to school. That's such a nice 5th grader. Not even many adults I know would admit to their mistakes like that. In middle school, some sub that no one knew that looked like a narc pulled me from class because of a family issue. Walked me out of the school to my mom. Somehow this turned into the sub being a cop, and it being a cop car, and I was in trouble for something. One rumor a few weeks later was that I had gotten in trouble for bringing tons of huge guns to school or something. I was like, guys, I'm still at school. I told you what happened. Kids are ruthless in middle school. I only escaped that by having no friends. I was once sick for an entire week of 9th grade. Somehow it spread that I went to Hawaii. Even a teacher made a comment. I have no idea how the duck that started and nobody would tell me why they thought it, because they thought I was just being cheeky by denying it. Who in their right mind would deny going to Hawaii? That doesn't make much sense. Someone in an affair with a Hawaiian. That I gave my boyfriend a handjob on the bus. I very much did not. I hadn't even seen a dong at that point in my life. It was so outrageous that the people who tried to spread it became the butt of the joke for spreading something that literally nobody would believe. Edit. This happened in college. This happened to me, except I'm the guy. First girlfriend childhood best friend was sleeping with her head resting against my shoulder. The substitute bus driver thought she was doing sexual acts. Stopped the bus. Called her to the front. That was the last time I ever saw her. Her parents pulled her out of school and sent her to live with her grandparents across the country immediately. I got suspended. I'd heard her parents wanted to press charges but nothing ever came of that. And her friends hated my guts afterwards for thinking I pressured her into it, even though we didn't do anything. Jesus. Talk about overreacting. I'm sorry that happened, man. I can't even imagine how she felt. Literally everybody in that story is a complete ducking moron except you and the poor girl. As a child, many kids thought I was gay because I had long hair. How I had hair down to my elbows. I'm a guy. People though I was a girl when I first went to elementary school in 5th grade. I had been homeschooled before that, so nobody knew me, lol. I cut his all off and got a normal kind of fade haircut and everybody thought a new kid no one knew about had came to school. Didn't have many friends before that. It was weird because I made a lot after I cut my hair. Wacky world out there. Also some kids were convinced I was gay, while I had a girlfriend. A coworker told several people I was having an affair with our boss. To add to it, she said I was the one who told her about it. I'm a woman. My boss was a gay man. No, we were not having an affair. My last job there was a girl like this. The company kept her for 4 years. No one wanted to be near her because she always spread stuff and lies. I once joked about a rash on my hand saying I wanted to bite it like a dog because that's how much it itched. She reported it to the boss and I was brought in and told about it. I made it very clear that I wanted nothing to do with any of them. It was no wonder they had a high turnover rate. Why would that be something worth calling in for? Pingity chews their hand like a dog. My god. We need to handle this immediately. Tell me about it. I hated working there. They called in for other stuff too. They would say we should be thankful to work there. I think they used her as information since the main boss takes it personal if someone wants to relocate or quit. Because I worked at a plasma donation center, they assumed I was doing it on the floor in front of donors. That and you can't have open wounds on the floor, but I had it bandaged. This same chick said a fellow co-worker of mine was having seizures because she's on drugs. Turns out that co-worker had a tumor in her brain. She ended up getting let go of, but their excuse was they were worried she'd seize up during a procedure. That place was bad, really bad. I got out of there while I could and now I'm doing what I like anyways. But that rumor starting done actually tried to friend request me and I'm like, yeah, no. I don't deal with that shit. I just want to work and go home and play video games, not deal with office drama. When I was 13 there was a rumor spreading around that I was born in Iraq, used to live in Moscow, and was a die-hard gay communist that wanted to run for president and pass a law that everyone was required to have gay sex with me. Damn, your 8th grade class was well versed in controversial geopolitics. I was called a communist in schools because I was shelter. Our shelter. This was spread by an adult in a volunteer organization I was part of, me, happily married, running for a leadership position. Her, many years married to someone running for one of the other positions. Apparently she didn't want me on the leadership team because she told people I had the hots for her husband, who was, bless his heart, a nice guy, but homely. I respected what he'd done to achieve leadership in the organization, but could not have been more uninterested in that aspect of him if he had been a cow patty. I didn't know anything about this until after I lost the election. She also started a rumor about 2 other adults who were friendly, but not doing anything untoward. Unfortunately, the wife of the man believed that rumor and it totally ruined a number of relationships and events because she wouldn't permit them to attend the same meeting or event. I never understood what motivated that person to spread those types of rumors. For power. The night before election day, someone spread hundreds of flyers in our small town that the opposing candidate was a child molester on the FBI watch list. Not a word of it was true, but he lost the election anyway. They do it just to be annoying. I don't see how you could get entertainment out of that, but some people do. That I have 3 testicles. Do you? Come on guys. He obviously has 4. I stole this pair from a Japanese guy in an earthquake. That I had mad computer skills because I was browsing Reddit at work. None of my co-workers had ever seen a website that was just text with some thumbnails instead of blinking ads covering 80% of the page. This is exactly why I love this website. Today I learned that K9 has a Reddit account. Affirmative. Join our community Discord, link in description. That I was a lesbian. Growing up, a guy was convinced I was a lesbian. I just didn't fancy him. I didn't bother correcting him either. He told everyone I was, but you know what, who cares? It didn't bother me and definitely didn't affect my love life. Got hit on by a few women, but I was flattered. My friend and I had a guy start a similar rumor when she turned him down after he tried to get handsy with her at a party. So he decided go all around afterward telling people she turned him down cause she was lesbians with me. Honestly, it was pretty funny at the time cause I had a steady boyfriend. So when people would hear about it, they'd come up to me and be like, you're dating a guy, right? And I'd be like, yeah, and they'd go, I told him you weren't a lesbian. That I raped a girl at school. At the time there was drama going around that someone in my group of friends had raped this girl who was a friend of mine. Later we found out the guy our entire group hated, we'll call him Jake, actually did it and was suspended and arrested. But before that, the school was trying to figure out what happened and Jake told the admins that I did it and they questioned me but couldn't pin it to me. I was the mediator of the group, so if there was an argument I was usually the middle ground, so basically everyone in our group knew it wasn't me, which kinda saved my ass. But because of that we name dropped Jake to the admins and they ended up penning it to him because the girl eventually gave a description of the guy who did it and it was Jake. LOL, imagine raping a girl and blaming it on someone and not expect being caught. Yes, some guy did that and the dude he blamed it on got picked out of a lineup by the girl. He went to prison for more than a decade before DNA evidence proved him innocent and the man who lied was found guilty. Screw Jake. There was a widely held belief among the underclassmen in my fraternity that sometime in the murky past, I had thrown a chair in anger during the course of one of our meetings. I had never thrown a chair, and haven't to this day. I threw a beefy 5-layer once. Subway footlong myself. That I sold sandwiches in school. How do you even start a rumor like that? Let us pray some people from my school sees this. Oh man, you made it up for that and I am not even mad. That I licked the top of the pizza box when someone threw it in the garbage. Some people are ducking stupid. Obviously it would have been the inside of the box. I once actually ate popcorn out of the trash and no one cared. It was an open bag and there wasn't much else that looked disgusting in there and I was hungry. That my boyfriend rapped me or pressured me. We haven't even had sex yet, we were both virgins and wanted to wait. We lived in a small town of 800 so word spread fast. And the woman wanted me to press charges against him. Because though he was older than me, I was actually older than him. It was stupid but thankfully it stopped after a month. There must have been some sick lyrics that he rapped to cause such a reaction around town. Imagine you're the guy in that situation and the person spreading the rumors is your week old ex. Edit, an ex who has been my ex for a week, not an ex who was a week old. It's kinda a two-fair. My ex was spreading rumors my new girlfriend was pregnant by someone else, while my girlfriend now wife was dating a girl. Then the rumors grew to me only dating her so the kid would have a dad. Then once we got engaged it spread to we were only getting married to save her the disgrace of having a baby out of wedlock. Here's me favorite part, the timeline. We dated for 11 months until got engaged. We were engaged for like 14 months. We had our first kid at almost 3 years of marriage. So that's quite the gestational period she had. And the kid looks a lot like me so that's suspicious for him to be someone else's. Now you two were just masters of the long con. When I was 21 and in college, I worked with a boy who was a senior in high school. His girlfriend broke up with him about 2 weeks before prom for another guy. I offered to go with him. The girl was dumped by her new boyfriend a few days before prom and wanted my co-worker to take her to prom. But he said no, as he was going with an older woman. At prom, I was quite the topic of conversation. This girl had come by our store when I was working. And she and her friend told everyone I was a bitch who had multiple children with multiple baby daddies. I don't even go here. Anyway, prom was nice. Dinner before was great. And after the dance I went home, alone, and had many illegal drinks in my child-free house. What year was this? I just ask because when I was in high school, 13 years ago, we weren't allowed to bring anyone who was 21 or older to school dances. I'm guessing because of the possibility of alcohol. 1999. Geez, that number looks weird. And now that I realize that was pretty much half my life ago, I'm feeling old. My husband had the flu in February. Rumor around his work was that he had the coronavirus and I gave it to him cause I worked with the first infected patient in my county. I never was sick. I don't work in the same city as the first infected and I have no idea who she is. The rumor kept getting more and more crazy every day. That I fancied this guy. I genuinely didn't, I was just being polite to him cause he was a nice guy. The guy I actually liked. I fought with all the time and pretended I hated. Isn't there an anime term for that? Like Sundeer or something? For the second sentence. Jesus duck, I hate this trope so much. The anime waifu acts thirsty as duck until the man shows a slight interest in her and then she gets beat red and dramatically shy. God, I loved Sundeers. Back when Five Nights at Freddy's was popular, I was in middle school working on a computer. I wanted a cool desktop background of one of the characters, so I searched it up on Bing Images, which was the default search engine on our school network. Bing had a tab between the search bar and the images where it says other people searched for, and lists a bunch of other popular terms. Well, it just so happened that a lot of people were searching up FNAF porn on Bing. A classmate saw the search term, and I became the kid who searched up FNAF Rule 34 on the school computers. Duckcubing. In 5th grade, these two girls that hate me once told the class that I cheat on tests by looking at other people's answers. My classmates avoided me for months because of that. In India we cheat and brag about it. The funniest was in high school. My classmates thought that I could blow things up with my brain. To this day I wish that were true. The worst was also in high school. I had a teacher, one I liked and trusted, stage an intervention because the rumor was that I was a lesbian. A rumor since junior high and something I never confirmed or denied. And that I was abusing my girlfriend, a friend and nothing more. To this day, the idea that this teacher I liked and respected could believe such a thing still bothers me. Her delivery was very much "you need to stop this" as opposed to "let's talk." It sounds like the budget version of "I am not okay with this" TV series made by Netflix. In middle school someone started a rumor that I was a voodoo priestess. Stereotypical Hollywood voodoo. Nothing like the real thing. I'm white and live in Canada. People believed it. They'd shriek and run when they saw me. At the end of 1 year a girl who had been nothing but awful to me asked if she could sign my yearbook, and her signature was basically her pleading with me not to curse her. Even in my first year of high school I had a few people who didn't go to my middle school walk up and ask me if it was true that I did voodoo. Thankfully it died down after that. That I'm a poor replica of a human designed to test awkward social interactions. Duck off. I'm a quality replica. Gonna get buried and slightly off prompt, but in middle school I ended up hanging around these two boys for a few months. I always had a way of finding myself in the group with the weird kids. Like and like-minded I suppose. But anyway, one of the boys actually would talk about how he'd been in prison. Changed to juvie when I asked questions. I mentioned it possibly offhanded to a few acquaintances. The way you do as a kid with information and no processing skills. Then one day after some school event I'm with my mom and little sister when we are approached aggressively by this random woman dragging my weird friend with her. She asks me to stop spreading rumors that her son had been to juvie. My mom looked very confused and unsure of where to direct and anger that was developing. I said something along the lines of "okay," but he told me he had been, as if he made me spread the rumor. I think that wasn't what she expected, cause she quickly assured my son has never been in trouble with the law and ran off dragging my embarrassed friend away. Mom didn't want me hanging around him anymore. I then started hanging out with a girl who swore she was dating an older guy who sometimes was a werewolf. I sure know how to pick them. Someone started a rumor that there was another person inside of me working me with controls. When I was pregnant with my youngest I was looking for baby stuff straight away. I was looking to buy a Babawering sling and I spoke to this local woman who was much older than me. I was 23 and she befriended me and added me to a Babawering group as I was wanting to babyware. Everything was fine until I told her how far along I was, like 6 weeks, and then she deleted me and I was removed from the group. I was very confused. Turns out she thought I was faking my pregnancy because apparently if I was only 6 weeks along I wouldn't be buying baby stuff. She told the admin of the group to delete me. She told some other people in town I was faking and someone told me. I was quite upset, but everyone knew it was crap when they saw my belly and then saw my baby after I had her. After I had her I sold my Babawering sling and the woman who bought it was in the original group. I told her my story and she was horrified and talked to the admin who apologized to me and invited me back to the group. I accepted her apology but declined the offer of being in the group. I still see the woman who started the rumor every so often with my clearly not fake child with me. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for 3 videos a day.